Well, you know, when I was mayor, I did the same thing. So we had to make budget cuts in the city during some down cycles, and then as governor, I learned how to make cuts. And you're right, I didn't necessarily run for governor with on my bumper sticker, I'm going to cut more than anybody who's ever been governor, but that's what I ended up doing, and I learned how to do it. And I learned some lessons, Chris. You can't do across the board cuts because everything isn't worth everything else. Some things you cut deeply, some things you maybe completely let go, but other things you either cut a little or even put more money into them because you've got to always be investing as you go. Second, you should cut for tomorrow, not for today. So think about where you'll be 4 or 5 years down the road and make cuts based on, we won't really need that then, but we might need more early childhood education. We might need more mental health funding. So you got to put more money into the things that are going to be important down the road. Those are two lessons I learned, and I don't think there are many people in the Senate, frankly, who have ever had to do significant cutting. The fact that I have is something that I think, you know, can be used in that body. I mean, I'm in the completely they matter category. So there may be some, and I understand. Look, there's an economic argument that while unemployment is high and demand is weak, if you are dealing too much with cutting deficits, you can put the economy into a further tailspin. So you have to time it right and phase it right. But I believe very deeply that we need to be getting on a path to balancing the budget. We did that in the 1990s, and it led to one of the longest periods of economic expansion during peacetime that we'd ever seen. So I think finding the right strategies to balance, not tomorrow, you know, we don't have to just put everything on the skids, but over time, getting the budget more into balance, we've got to do it. There's a great line, you know, that I heard once in church. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. You know, everybody wants, you know, budgets to be balanced, but nobody wants their own thing cut. Cut somebody else's thing. Don't cut my thing. And you know what I learned as governor is you look at every last line item. You get performance data about every expenditure. Is this really producing a result for citizens? And then you make a priority judgment. It may be producing a result, but is this really important or not? And then you go line item by line item and you let go of the things that either are not performing well or that aren't high priority. But again, even while we were cutting, we were making more investments in pre-K, more investments in higher ed institutions, because those are the skills we need to have a stronger economy tomorrow. So you can never just be cutting. That's another lesson. You can't cut your way to prosperity. Make cuts when you need to, but you also always have to be looking for investments.